Oh my gosh. Oh, they blew it again. Oh man. Oh. Surprise, surprise. Bears lose 31-26 to the Detroit Lions on the road. Man, that one hurts. That one hurts. Oh. Bears come off the win against Carolina, and they're getting Justin Fields back, and I'm just excited to see Justin Fields play again. And he plays great, man. He plays a good game. Oh, man. Just what the offense did. The offense just looked so much better with him as the quarterback. It was literally like night and day. I mean, oh my goodness. The whole team just looked better. And I say that because they were outplaying the Lions for probably about 55 minutes of this game. But when I tell you the 5 minutes that the Bears were outplayed cost them the football game, I mean it. I mean, literally, I think they were the better team for the entire game outside of the final drive of the first half where the Lions just marched down the field and scored because Eberflus thought it was a good idea to do prevent defense. Of course, that was probably about 2 minutes. And then, of course, the last 4 or so minutes of the game. So probably more about 6 minutes they were outplayed, right? What is going on? They were outplayed for maybe 6 minutes, and they let up 22 points. 22 in that span. And I'm not kidding when I said that is the reason why they lost this game. I mean, it is literally boils down to 6 minutes of football, and that's why they lost this game. It is so funny because the defense looks good for most of the time they're out there. And they're not even out there for a ton of time because the offense had the ball for over 40 minutes of this game. And this is the most frustrating. This is the damnedest thing about this. The Bears offense, going to the final 5 minutes, had just finished a near 9-minute drive where I don't think they threw the ball once. Or no, I think they maybe threw the ball once or twice, and they got yardage from penalties. The Lions were shooting themselves in the foot. They were taking a bunch of bad penalties, and the Bears burned like 8 minutes of clock. Kick a field goal. They're up by 12 with under 5 to go. Lions march right down the field because the Bears are playing prevent D, and they throw a touchdown. And then you start thinking, oh yeah, I forgot what team I'm watching. And the Lions have all 3 timeouts. Yeah, they've lost this game. When I say that they ran the 2 most predictable plays on the first 2 plays of that series where they were needing to get just 1 first down to end the game, I mean, you could not have been more predictable. Everyone and their mother knew they were running it up the middle. You saw the way they stacked the line. Everyone in that stadium knew that they were running up the middle. And of course it backfires on them because everyone knows what's happening and knows what's coming. And then you get to the 3rd down throw. I know I'm completely skipping most of the rest of this game. I'm going to touch on it in a minute. But man, that last throw that Justin Fields had. Damn. Oh, such a good ball. And, you may be saying, oh, well, the ball was overthrown. It missed him. Well, that's the thing, my friend. You watch the route back. Tyler Scott, the intended target, does it ever so slightly. For 1 or 2 steps, he slows down ever so slightly to try and judge the ball. And it causes him to miss the route, and it just go off his fingertips. Oh, that ball was perfect. That ball was perfect. Oh my gosh, that was a great throw from Justin Fields. It just right out of his hands. Right out of his hands. He had that pass. He had it. And Scott had his man beat and everything. He just slowed down the stride ever so slightly for like 2 steps in the middle of that route because he thought the ball was coming a little shorter than what it actually did. And that's tough. That's a rookie play. And that's something as a rookie you're going to look at. It's like, hey, you're going to make those mistakes. Look, all rookies make those types of mistakes. Everyone has one of those big moments that's like they're welcome to the NFL. You're going to get blasted when you make a mistake like this. Not to mention Tyler Scott also fumbled earlier in the game, which provided the Bears' only turnover of the day, by the way. So, oh, man, that one stunk. And when the Lions got the ball back, I had no faith in that defense to get it done. Because Eberflus has shown me time and time and time again that he does not know how to coach in the clutch. He does not know how to coach with a lead. He does not know how to coach a defense when they need a critical stop. And it's infuriating because the defense produced 4 takeaways. They took the ball away 4 times. 3 interceptions. Tyreek Stevenson getting his first pick of his NFL career after he dropped one against Carolina. I was so happy to see it for him. He's had a long season. I don't know if this is still a thing, but I do remember just like a week or 2 ago, he was the most targeted corner in the entire league. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if that is true now. And he gets a pick. And then Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards both get interceptions as well. Not to mention Jack Sanborn had that great blitz where he just stood still for half a second and went to Jared Goff untouched and brought him down. Linebackers had a great day. Made some huge impact plays. And Montez Sweat got his first sack with the Bears. There's a lot to look from this game for the defensive side of things, and there's a lot of positives. But the problem is, when they were outplayed, they were outplayed. They looked like they couldn't stop anything. And that was because they were played in prevent defense, which is just like, it makes no sense. You're trying to prevent them, obviously you're trying to prevent them from scoring, but like they have way too much time for you to be doing prevent defense, man. They're getting these big 10-yard chunks on every play because no one's covering them down there. It's just free first down after free first down, and then all of a sudden, they're inside the 30, and you're like, oh no, they're going to score. Yeah, no, oh. So, Eberflus. I'll have my own tangent about Matt Eberflus here in a moment. But, of course, right after David Montgomery, former Bear, puts the dagger in our throats, and they get to 2-point conversion, first play, I'm like, all right, Justin. I mean, there's time left for you. You got 30 seconds, and I think they had 2 timeouts at that point. You had 2 timeouts. You got like 30 seconds to get them down in the field goal range. You don't even need to, to go all the way to the end zone. You just need to get it up to a field goal. First play. Oh, Aiden Hutchinson just, oh man, and it's so frustrating because Aiden Hutchinson was being locked up for the majority of the game. Like, he had very little presence. Darnell Wright was doing a great job, boxing him out, keeping him away from Justin Fields. But, dude, you got to give respect to Hutch. Absolutely fantastic player. Makes the biggest play of the game. Strips it from Justin Fields because he doesn't see the pressure coming. And Darnell Wright then kicks it in the back of the end zone for a safety. So it's not technically a turnover. But, it may as well have been, but it won't go on the stat sheet as one. But yeah, no, it's weird with that play because Darnell Wright had been doing a great job with it, and even then, Justin Fields had been doing a good job stepping up in the pocket in those exact scenarios when he was coming in on the blind side, and he just didn't on that play, and it just stinks. It just stinks, man. Because I think a very similar play like that was where he stepped up and then threw that missile to DJ Moore for the touchdown. I mean, that's probably one of the best throws I've seen him make as a member of the Chicago Bears. Unbelievable throw. Perfect. Right on the money. That's what we really want to see from him here in the last handful of games, because he had a couple deep shots that he missed the mark on earlier in the game. One that was pretty identical to the touchdown pass, just sailed it. I forget who it was to. I think it may have been to Mooney. But he just absolutely sails it. There's another deep ball towards Mooney that he sailed, and not necessarily sailed over him. He missed it. Just more of just a really bad miss on width in terms of the miss. And then, of course, the Scott miss, which is really hard to put on. It's like, that one was just really close. But man, like, and of course this was Justin Fields' breakout rushing day too. Like this was his first really big rushing game of the season. Like they had been like you go back to the beginning of the year, they really tried to make Justin Fields a pocket passer. They really tried. Didn't work out. Now they're letting Justin be Justin in a way, and he's more effective. The offense is looking instantly better. And frankly, ever since that Kansas City game, Justin Fields has looked really good. Obviously, he had that 2-game stretch against Denver and Washington that he should have gone 2-0, with, but obviously we know what happened in that Denver game. Like 8 touchdowns to 1 interception, over 600-yard passing. I mean, come on. I am a Fields defender. I'm not one that will go out of my way to just, say he's the best thing since sliced bread and he should be in the MVP conversation. Not going to happen. There are plenty of games in there that he's looked absolutely horrible. But then again, the most frustrating thing that I have in terms of the Fields debate is everyone who brings up the QB record. And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, you do realize if you played for literally any other franchise, all of those great performances that he had that he lost would be wins. They would be wins because there is an actual competent team around him. And to me, I feel like, look, I know he's won like 6 games, but look at some of the losses. That Denver loss, he had over 300 yards passing, had 4 touchdown passes. I know he had the fumble and the pick late in the game. That was very unclutch of him. I'll be right through. That was unclutch of him. But then again, he should not have been in that situation in the first place if the defense had just, not let up 14 straight points, right? Should have not been in that situation in the first place. They should have gone up 21 and have it stayed that way if they are at least a competent football team, right? You look at the Detroit game from last year where he had like that explosive touchdown run right after he throws a pick 6 to tie the game. He makes up for it, runs for a massive touchdown run, and beats out the guy that intercepts him for the pick 6. You get down to it, defense blows the lead, and then they go into the final drive, and he can't find anyone open, and has to take a couple, and he's running for his life. There are a couple more examples I could bring up, but that would make this way too long. It's not pertinent to this game. But he had a good game. But to me, the most frustrating part with Justin is he has to play an absolutely perfect game for them to win. It frustrates me so much. Because if you look at those games that Tyson Bagent won against Las Vegas and Carolina, if they put Fields in, I think they probably score at least 10, 14, they probably score 14 more points against Carolina. They probably put up, I don't know if they put up much more than they did against the Raiders because the Raiders were just that bad. Maybe they put, over 40 on it. I don't know. But I do think that they probably get a chance to win that game in New Orleans. They don't turn the ball over 5 times because Fields doesn't throw 3 picks. I know that he wouldn't have thrown 3 picks in that game because most of the picks that Bagent had in that game were very rookie-like. Kind of just right behind the receiver. It's it's not D2 football. They're going to pick it off, right? So I don't think Fields makes those bad throws. He maybe has the fumble at the end of the game as well. I don't think anyone is getting out of that situation. So, you can make, it's all about the ifs. I know. Ifs. But, the reality is not a massive winner. And the frustrating thing is that he is just not very clutch. I'm just going to be straightforward and say it. Justin Fields has not been very clutch with the Chicago Bears. And it's frustrating. And to me, the thing that really tells me why is where he went to school. That's where he went to play his college ball. Ohio State. Ohio State is never in those situations late in games. Let's be real. Ohio State is beating most of their opponents by 30 plus every single game. Unless they're playing Michigan or in the CFP, Ohio State is not in a situation where they're down 1 score with under 2 minutes to go. Does not happen. Really doesn't. There's too many good pieces on the defense and on offense for things to get that way. Ohio State doesn't lose those football games. So I mean, Fields doesn't have very many much experience with that type of stuff. And the one that I can think of off the top of my head is the CFP in 2019 when Justin Fields played T-Law in Clemson and threw a pick at the end of the game. It was like one of his first of the year and whatnot, right? Bad pick there in the end zone. I think he's just learning how to operate in a 2-minute drill now. And that's the problem. It just feels like he doesn't know what he's doing in a 2-minute drill. He panics. He doesn't it's like he can look great for a game, but if he gets down late in the game, he just panics. He doesn't know what to do. He's a guy who can play well with the lead. A guy who can play well with the lead, but if the team gets down early, he panics and makes bad decisions. And so I feel like if the Bears are to win games from here on out or for the rest of the season, they really got to just have a lead and keep a lead throughout the game. Because, some of these chokes, these big-time chokes, the Lions home game last year, the Denver game this year, this game. There's another one in there that I'm forgetting. There's another one in there that I think maybe you could probably put the Green Bay game last year. Maybe there's probably one or two others that you could probably throw in there. But he's just not that good playing from behind, especially when he's led for the majority of the game. In the examples that I've seen, they led most of those games right there. The Detroit home game last year, Denver, Green Bay home game last year. Those 3 games, and then this one right here. They led for the majority of all 4 of those games. All 4 of them. They led for the majority of the game until the very end where they go down and they trail. And then Justin Fields cracks under pressure, panics, makes a bad decision, throws an interception, or turns the ball over in some way. So I think if I'm Justin Fields, I feel like the couple of things I feel like just offense needs to work on in general. The run blocking. Some of those runs I feel like just not good. Not good. And it feels like if they had even a little bit of a hole, they would have been able to find a way through. Because Foreman is one thing that I picked up from Foreman since he's taken over for the 2 injured running backs in Herbert and Johnson. He's great at finding the seam and the hole in the offensive line and going right through it and picking up a nice gain and making something out of nothing. But there were plenty of runs on first down where they tried to run outside and they get taken down because someone misses a block or a defender just comes rushing in. I think they got a game plan for that a little better. I didn't get a chance to talk about the running game and the offensive line too much. Yeah, I think the offensive line is in a way better position than they were last season. Fields looks a little more comfortable in the pocket now that he has a little bit more time to throw. I feel like Fields needs to make sure that he's a little bit more accurate with his throws. There were a couple throws that I was really pleased with. Of course, the touchdown pass. I thought one of the first throws of the game when it looked like last year he takes that and he scrambles with it, but he gets that ball out last second before the before the line of scrimmage and finds DJ Moore and he sprints off, breaks off a nice gain. There's that long third down where the rush is coming and Justin Fields in about a second and a half able to get it past to DJ Moore and he breaks a tackle and gets a first down. They had some really good plays. They had some really good plays offensively. But when the game mattered most, they took the ball out of his hands. And I mainly say that for the drive where Detroit held and burned all their timeouts, where they ran the ball at the middle twice in a row. They literally did the exact same play twice in a row. When will Luke Getsy realize, after the Tampa game and running the same screen pass 3 times in a row, when is he going to realize that defenses are smarter than he thinks? There's a lot that you can take away from this game. I've talked about it extensively. I'm not recording this on Sunday. I'm recording it later in the week. So, I've already also seen the Chiefs game. So we're after Monday. The week's already over, right? And as you can tell, I'm not in my apartment. I'm back home for Thanksgiving. I've had a chance to talk with members of my family, my brother, some of the people I was watching the game with. I've had a chance to really talk about it and really kind of dissect it and look at some film and whatnot. So this is kind of why it feels more like analytical and coming up with some other ideas. Because to me, the frustrating part about this game is that they had the game won. They did everything they did. They did a lot right. They did a ton right. They should have beat this team. Plain and simple. They should have won this game. But Matt Eberflus is a choke artist and doesn't know what, crunch time is. So when the game gets late and his team is holding the lead, he doesn't realize the team he's playing is 7-2. So he's like, prevent defense. They're not going to score 2 touchdowns in 4 minutes. Well, he doesn't realize the coach he's playing against has, the biggest balls of any coach. I don't get it. He's the one who takes the most risks. He's the one who'll just say, screw it. I'm going for it on 4th down. Even though we're tied, I don't care. I'm going for it on 4th down. Last week, he went into LA. Tie game, late in the game. 4th and 2 with a minute left. Tie game. And he goes for the kill. That's aggression. This team has no aggression. They don't know how to keep the gas pedal on. They don't know how to keep their foot on the gas. I don't understand. It just frustrates me. It's so frustrating to me because there are so many games this team could have won over the last 2 years now. But obviously, with some of those games last year, got him the first overall pick. And of course, set up that trade with Carolina for DJ Moore and the first this year, which looking like they're probably going to get the first overall, which is going to be great. Going to be great for him to get the first overall and possibly draft Marvin Harrison Jr. And I know a lot of people are saying that we should draft another quarterback. I don't think so. And here's why. There is nothing about this organization that tells me that they're going to take someone like Caleb Williams or Drake May or any other quarterback, Michael Penix, Bo Nix, etc. And they're gonna be able to succeed with him, especially with Caleb Williams. I saw him play this year when they were in Boulder for the Colorado USC game, and he just looks so comfortable in the pocket because he's a good O-line, a super clean pocket. He has 9 seconds to throw sometimes. He's not going to have that with this organization. And if he doesn't learn how to do it quick, then the same thing with Trubisky and Fields is going to repeat itself. That to me is why I don't think they should draft a quarterback this year. What about this organization tells me that they're not just going to repeat the exact same thing they have done to Mitchell Trubisky and Justin Fields? Absolutely ruin their development. Justin Fields has built up so many bad habits over the last couple of years because of Getsy and Eberflus and just the garbage he's had to play with. 3 offensive coordinators in 3 years, I believe. I want to say. It just baffles me. And I don't think they should draft another quarterback. I think they have something with him. I am willing to give him next season. Because I feel like this is a lost year. I mean, they're now 3-8. Obviously going into that game against Detroit, it's great. If we can beat Detroit on the road, that's the toughest game left on our schedule. Because we play the Lions at home, Cleveland on the road, and Minnesota on the road. That's our next 3 games. Not in that order. The last 3 games are pretty easy compared to those. They could run the table if they win that game. They blew it. Season's all but gone now because if they win out, they go 9-8. They maybe get a playoff berth, but that ruins everything that they've that Poles wants them to do, right? And frankly, with Eberflus at the helm, I don't think they'll win out. I mean, there's nothing that he has shown me that shows that he can win these games. Matt Eberflus is a master lolcow. He is a colossal lolcow. I cannot believe Matt Eberflus is still the head coach of this team. I don't understand it. I know this franchise. It's we're classy. We don't fire coaches mid-season. I don't care anymore. This guy needs to be gone. He needs to be gone. He is an absolute cancer, an absolute hack. I can't take Eberflus anymore. I've not had this much hatred for a Bears coach in my life. I started following with Mark Trestman. I know a lot of people were saying Mark Trestman. I can't believe I found a guy who I hate more than Mark Trestman. I didn't really see much of Mark Trestman in terms of that type of stuff because I was still young. And so, mainly what I've seen is John Fox, Matt Nagy, and Matt Eberflus. And Eberflus is easily the only coach that I've really genuinely had a fury for and wanting to get fired. Oh my gosh. It's just... And the frustrating thing is everyone knows in this organization, every fan knows that George McCaskey is going to sit up there picking his nose, waiting for the day after their final game in Lambeau Field to fire Matt Eberflus. He's going to wait till the day after. Not now, and they can try and salvage what they have this season. No, he's just going to wait because they're too classy to do mid-season firings. That's too low of a blow for this organization, apparently. Super dumb. He needs to go. Have you seen the team with him? They can't win football games. He has the worst coaching record in the history of this franchise. This team is over a century old now. It makes no sense why he is still the head coach of the Chicago Bears. I don't understand why Matt Eberflus is still the head coach of the Chicago Bears. It infuriates me because he is such a hack. And in his presser, he has the audacity to try and gas himself up by saying, like, oh, well, there was that couple of great plays at the end of the Carolina game by our defensive coordinator. Oh, that would be me. What are you doing? What kind of ego do you need to perpetuate? My problem with him is he has a massive ego. He's a hack. He doesn't know how to coach. He's an absolute idiot. When he went to the game before the Carolina game in the presser, he's saying like, oh, he's not playing. Justin Fields not playing. Oh, they've listed him as doubtful. There's probably not gonna. He's not gonna play. What is doubtful for me? There's probably a 51% chance he plays. Make up your mind. You're the head coach. You should know this. It's ridiculous. He doesn't know what's going on in his own organization. He doesn't know what's going on with his own team. Oh my gosh, Matt Eberflus. Absolutely terrible. And then he has the audacity. He has the gall to try and give him props after the colossal choke job he just mastered this week with his, genius idea to go into prevent defense in the most critical situations of the game, and it leads to 22 points for the other team. Justin Fields doesn't control that. Justin Fields doesn't control the scheming that Matt Eberflus does. He doesn't even play defense. So why are we blaming Justin Fields for all these losses when Matt Eberflus, in like 5 minutes of play, lets up 22 points? How do you expect any quarterback to win in this scenario? It just, man, that one really hurts. There's a lot of positives to take away from this game, but the fact that they lost really makes it just infuriating because they were the better team for 90% of that game. I am not kidding. 90% of the game, the Bears were the better team, and the 10% they weren't, lost in the game. So they can't put together a full 60-minute effort, and it doesn't even. It's like you shouldn't have to put like 60 minutes in. You know, most good teams, most competent football teams, should be able to put together a good performance, and a performance that'll win them the game. Be the better team for 80% of the game, and they can win the game, right? Not the Bears. They're going to play a complete 60-minute game. They got to be the better game the whole way there. The whole way for them to win. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing what this team is doing. They're the laughing stock of the city, which is embarrassing considering that the White Sox exist. Like, let's be real. White Sox... Are they really better than the Bears? I don't know. You guys can pick. You guys can figure out which organization's worse. But I mean, it is not very close. It is the fact that the Bears are even in the same ballpark as the White Sox in terms of incompetence. That's all you need to know. And don't even get me started on the rest of the other three teams in the city. The Cubs, Bulls, and Hawks all are under 500 since the start of 2022. Like, the city of Chicago just can't catch a break in the last couple of years. So, Cubs, let's go get Ohtani. That's literally it. I mean, man, this one really hurts. Oh, dude. And it's like, Eberflus now still hasn't won a game in the NFC North, still hasn't won a division game, and he had a chance to go into the current division leaders, into their building, and embarrass them when no one gave him the shot. And they played better than anyone thought that they were going to play in that game. But that doesn't matter, because they still ended up taking home the L. Detroit gets very lucky that they're facing Matt Eberflus. And that's all that matters. It's a coaching matchup at that point. Coaching blows the game for Chicago. I mean, seriously, they blow it for them. And now they have a long week, long 8 days to think about this one. And, yeah, they have to play Minnesota on the road next. And it's prime time. Then again, the Justin Fields is playing, so it should be better. Should be better than the other two, the primetime games with Bajan. But still, dude, you gotta find a way to put that one away. Regardless, it doesn't matter if you're talking to Fields, Eberflus, Getsy, anyone. Regarding that question and that statement, you gotta put it away. You gotta find a way to put it away. And this is why the Bears are a losing organization. They blow games like this. They've had several games over the past 2-3 years where they have had the game won only to choke it away at the last minute. So yeah, the Bears embarrassed themselves again and become one of the most laughed at teams in the league for the umpteenth week. Just another absolutely brutal loss. I know that we're looking at the draft at this point. I'd love to not have to look at the draft. I'd love to just be able to win a couple of football games. But maybe next year, I guess, at this point. So that's it for me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and hit that subscribe button to see any more reactions from me. You can find some of those lion chokes if you want. Because funnily enough, this isn't the first time the Bears have choked a lead like this against the Lions. So you want to see those? Right on this channel. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. Have a good Thanksgiving.